Welcome to another edition of the Handicappers Corner here at Pro Football Weekly. I'm joined by our handicapping expert Mike Wilkemy to talk about one of our best bets for Week 3. To see our lock of the week and the consensus selections against the spread, be sure to check out the Handicapping Inner Circle at ProFootballWeekly.com. And Mike, this week the PFW staff likes the Steelers -4 heading into Oakland to play the Raiders, a Raiders team that's really struggled its first 2 weeks.
This is really a game where you're handicapping form, and the Raiders are in bad form right now. They've been outscored by over a 2-1 margin in the first 2 games, 1 touchdown and 4 red zone trips. They're 6 of 27 on 3rd down. You know, and then you look defensively, they've really had their issues. The run defense has been an issue, almost 150 yards a game per allowed. And then you look at that game last week versus Miami. Ryan Tannehill was able to move the ball through the air a little bit. And that was a passing game that really didn't get a lot going the week before. You know, now you're stepping up in class facing a Pittsburgh team that really started to look a little bit better last week. So I think Oakland, as they look these first 2 games, looks a little bit overmatched.
Yeah, Reggie Bush ran all over the Raiders in that game in Week 2, and Oakland's going to have that home field advantage. But Pittsburgh, not the type of team that's intimidated on the road, and maybe a little shaky in their first game. And boy, did they look like the vintage Steelers. They looked very good against the Jets in Week 2, even without Polamalu and James Harrison. Neither of those guys are expected to play this week. Does that affect the spread, or what we should kind of expect from the Steelers going forward?
Well, this number has gone down a little bit, away from Pittsburgh and towards Oakland to where it is now. So it's something where if you like Pittsburgh, the number has kind of worked in your favor. But, from our perspective, it's something that I think is obviously a preferable thing because you've got a Pittsburgh team 19 of 34 on 3rd downs this year. They've done a nice job stringing drives together. Now, it hasn't been always an explosive offense, but I think they're getting there. And there's one other aspect here I think that's really key in looking at this game. When you go back to 2006 and 2009, those Pittsburgh teams were upset by Oakland. Those teams missed the playoffs. There's a number of those core guys still on that team. You go back 2 years ago, they took care of business against Oakland, 35-3 at home. I don't think there's going to be a letdown, and if that doesn't happen, I think the Steelers are really going to be too much for the Raiders in this one.
Mike Wallace, Antonio Brown, it would be really tough for that Raiders secondary. Decimated at corner, has really struggled against the pass in their first 2 games. Ben Roethlisberger, the whole crew heading into Oakland is going to try to beat the Raiders and get that 4-point spread as well. And they're one of just many road favorites this week in Week 3. To see the rest of our picks, be sure to check out the Handicappers Inner Circle at our website, ProFootballWeekly.com.